We count down to the 20th number. And it's to begin. George, you need to finish this thing.
Where's the best place for content on the World of Ice and Fire?
Right over there. See where I am pointing with my dagger? I just found
Sporking News Podcast. With me, Sporking. Make sure you like and subscribe.
About tonight, but that's okay. What we are doing tonight is a Storm of Swords-Prologue, and that is the third book of a Storm of Swords. Hi, kiddo. I'm Scott with Sporking News Podcast. Sorry, we're a little late. I thought I set this up for 7:30 after last night's debacle. With me tonight, though, is Sir Gregor McGrant. Mr. Grant,
hello,
Sir Grant Gregory.
something along
Nailed
those lines. Yeah,
Nailed it.
yeah.
What's up, man?
The seventh of his name.
Yes.
Done for the handles, you know.
Yeah. The dunk of the eggs.
Fixer of chains. Yeah.
Creator of the wheel.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
AI will, so it doesn't really count.
Slaver of the Ronar. I mean, we could go on. It'd be fun.
Yeah, no, not the Rona. They're good people.
They're good people. I like them. Nice river too. Really great place to vacation. Also
They
with
got a
us
good
tonight,
Yelp review. So
that's what I've heard. The one true king, Stig Stannis Baratheon Kenobi.
Hi.
How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing quite well. Winter's creeping up here in Norway, but other than that, things are quite nice. Nothing to complain about. Hatred level at a steady 88%.
Nice. Yeah, we're like fall, fall for us starts September 21st, and today was like 70 something degrees. So I don't know what the hell. Usually, we get that like, cool weather, then you'll get that one. We're not allowed to call it what it is anymore. So it's indigenous people summer, I guess. And that's usually like a week of warm weather, but it's been now like into November. So hopefully after tomorrow, it'll get nice and cold again because I'm sick of the heat. But I'm glad
It's Navajo summer.
It's a Navajo summer.
It's not as bad as a hoe summer.
That is true. And speaking of that, no, just kidding. Tina Bojan, how are you?
I'm doing great.
I was gonna go with it, and then I'm like, I don't want good takes to not like me. So, how's everybody?
Good take is cooking right now.
Oh,
so,
he knows his place.
let him cook.
Absolutely, he does. Absolutely. So I'm waiting for dinner to be served momentarily.
Nice.
But
Nice.
other than that, it's been very warm over here too. So you should be getting another warm day tomorrow because we hit 82 on Tuesday. And today was definitely in the upper 70s. So
yeah, usually I could tell about what my weather will be by yours. So yeah, today's
Norway.
Yeah.
88 is not bad.
What is it right now? Or what was it today?
I'll look.
All right.
Because I have to convert.
Oh, that's true. You people and your weird Celsius.
And we live at such
Like the entire world.
You also
we live in such an awesome
Fahrenheit.
section.
I'm American, Kazakhstan.
Excuse me, foreigner. An American speaking. Yes. What did you say back to Expogen?
I said that we live in the best area in terms of weather because we can get to like -20 in the winter and 110 in the summer.
Really?
I mean,
Wow.
it's absolutely insane living in Chicago.
Yeah, 110. We'll get to negative numbers with you, but usually, I mean, we'll get to like 101. Yeah. Okay, Stig, what did you convert?
Apparently, in my area, it's 42 degrees, but it says it feels like 34.
Okay. So yeah, that's the weather
In
I
other
want.
words, just say it's fucking cold.
But it's nighttime there, right?
Humidity is 80,
80-something%.
and
Holy.
precipitation is 70.
Oh,
Wow.
Kirsty Angel, how are you? Saying good morning, everyone. Sporking Stig, Sir Gregory, Tina, and at Jane Theory. Because even when she's in the chat, people still consider her part of the panel. Don't ever forget that. And for the person who loves the cold where you live, I think you're confused. Okay, come to the north. Come to the north. I think you would like New Hampshire.
North remembers.
The north does remember. And as the fantastic Ginger Ninja said when I was talking, he says, "So are you trying to say winter is coming?" I thought that was a clever little play on words. If you know, okay. Anyways, I thought it was funny. Tonight, what we are talking about.
Because winter isn't.
Shut up, dude. You're not supposed to talk about that.
You know what's fun? If someone's actually named Winter.
Oh.
And they're a prostitute.
No.
That's what they could have.
Yeah, something like that. Red Light District. Yeah. Soul says, I'm in Texas. We don't like the cold much, but can survive near hell temperatures like nothing. Yeah, that's so weird, dude. You guys do. But there's parts of Texas that get freezing, like the Panhandle and all that. So I don't know. It's all relative too. You know, like I go to Florida in February and I'm wearing shorts while people are like wearing wool sweaters because it's 65 or something like that. So it's all relative. That's my part. We're all the same. Just some are weaker than others.
Yeah. Some simply deserve to die.
I mean, ooh. So A Storm of Swords, Book 3, Song of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin. What I found kind of interesting is I don't remember reading a note on chronology. I said it right. A Song of Ice and Fire is told through the eyes of characters who are sometimes hundreds or even thousands of miles apart from one another. Some chapters cover a day, some only an hour. Others might span a fortnight, a month, a half a year.
That's 2 weeks for you Americans.
Oh, I thought that was like a game. With such a structure, the narrative cannot be strictly sequential. Sometimes important things are happening simultaneously 1,000 leagues apart. In the case of the volume now in hand, the reader should realize that the opening chapter of A Storm of Swords do not follow the closing chapter of A Clash of Kings so much as overlap them. I open with a look at some of the things that were happening on the Fist of the First Men, at River Run, Harrenhal, and on the Trident while the Battle of the Blackwater was being fought at King's Landing during its aftermath. So this was the first book where he wrote it. It was so big he had to split it in two. And then again, he did it the next two books, if I'm correct. Yeah, the next two books, he did the same thing. That's why. Yeah.
Sorry. I would say this book is the largest paperback I own, because prior to that it was Anne Rice's the first novel in her Mayfair Witches storyline, because that was a little over 1,000
trilogy.
It's a sister to that vampire trilogy,
okay.
because they're they're related and there's relations going on between the vampires and the witches.
Mm-hmm.
But so that one was like maybe about a little over 1,000, and this one had over 1,100 pages in it. So it's
gotcha. The memes of destruction is here. I just want to say that. Great channel, really smart dude. Really smart guy. If you ever watch his stuff, like he should have Brian Cox on as a guest. He's a smart dude. Okay, so my question is, I know it is huge. It's I think I have it here somewhere. It's probably one of the biggest paperbacks I had when I first got it. Like, Game of Thrones is pretty, that's a pretty thick paperback. But the other one's like this. It's like 1.5 of the Game of Thrones books.
Isn't 5 the thickest?
I believe 5 because yes. You know what? That's a good question because
I have them in I have them in that hardcover. So
yeah, it's a little different.
Sure.
I'm trying to remember. I think I have most of them. But see, look, a Clash of Kings actually is massive too. You got a Clash of Kings.
Good Lord,
And
is
then-
he loud to everybody else or is it just me?
No, I just like to scream. A Feast for Crows. That's pretty big. Look, they're almost all the same size. Look at them, guys. Take a look. All about the same size.
Yeah,
Okay,
people can
maybe-
really see how big it is.
Yeah, maybe I should. Okay, hold on. There you go. So they're all about the same size. These few books here, right? All right.
Why do you always talk about how big things are that you have in your hands?
And then actually, Clash of Kings is about as big as it gets. So Clash of Kings and a Storm of Swords are two of the bigger ones. They're huge, massive, girthy, I would say. I'll just put these right here because I'm a super fan. There we go. And then look how much bigger that one is. Oh,
You need to get
I mean,
hardcovers.
I know I do. You could tell though I've read these a bit.
Yeah.
You know, like they're all like bent. I mean, I haven't highlighted yet in them, but I've read them a couple times. Hi, Mad.
Man, your gain is up really high, bro.
Your gain is up really high. I don't think it is. Oh, my kid played with this, I think. Hold on. No, reverb is down.
Oh, is that why
Um,
kid went to hospital? Was it?
Yeah, I smacked. What?
Does he
My
not-
stuff,
does he not
I tell ya.
seem-
That's
does
how
he not
rumors
seem-
get started.
Does he not seem distorted to anyone else?
It was when he got close to it. It was like this.
I mean, I can be a little distorted, but if I'm back here, it's fine. Why are you always judging me?
I'm not. I'm trying to help you. Nobody else wanted to tell you.
How about that? Is that better?
He's
Is that better?
he's simply trying
pretty
to make
loud.
your stream perfect.
Thank you. He is. He's
It's all a
fantastic.
part of his great plan, just like Chet's great plan.
Oh, just like Chet. Is that better? Maybe a little
Yeah.
clearer.
Now you're.
Yeah,
you're
Yeah, there we
Okay.
are.
All right, I'll
you
stay
sound
back
human.
here. Back here is a little bit better. I'm a loud human being. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah, you're in that New England area.
I am. I truly am.
Plus, you know, he's American.
That is true. That is true. Okay, let's go. Hello, Mrs. Martin Muses. Miss Martin Muses, excuse me. How are you?
Hey, doing fine. Just got up from a nap and saw y'all had already gone live, so popped on.
I am glad you are here. I really am. It's been a while, so it's nice to have you on. And Mad, you're all right too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you are.
I
Memes
missed
of
you too.
Yeah, no, I have, dude. You always check on me, and I really appreciate that. That's enough of me being serious. The memes of destruction is here, and we have Liam is here too. The Ginger Ninja is here. It's inappropriate to compare sizes in front of ladies. The Ginger Ninja loves Sherry.
Hey, Sherry. Jane's in there somewhere too.
Yeah, Jane is definitely up in his house. Soul Assassin is here. She remembers the North. Soul says hail to everybody, and he likes Texas. I know there's a Kirsty Angel. Always comes up with some crazy ass great theories. So I'm excited to see what Kirsty thinks about this one. And she says hi, Matt, the lovely Sherry.
What are we reading?
This is the prologue to the book A Storm of Swords, which is this one right here, Storm of Swords. Even though it shows
So
up.
it's not his new one.
No, this is the third book in the what would you call 7-book series? What would that be?
Yeah, it's a 5-book
A
series.
joke.
No, it's going to be
Fair.
7.
It's a 5-book series.
It's a
A,
quintet.
a dream.
A dream.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a septology. A septology.
I
Okay.
I was trying to think about what 7 is in Spanish. I'm like, let's see, ocho is 8,
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do too.
cinco is 5.
Siete. Matt didn't do his homework.
Shakira is a 7.
No, Dane, I don't know if you know this, but they made an entire TV series out of this. I'm going to read the books. It's all there on the
Well-
TV.
I bet you they nailed it, especially towards the end.
Well, you know why you want to? Because you're going
I-
to see this from Chet's point of view.
I
And who
tried.
doesn't
reading
wanna
the
see
first
this?
book.
Did you?
Yeah, I was like, ugh, I don't like reading fiction. I rarely. The last fiction book was The Stranger by Albert Camus.
Oh yeah, great one.
I didn't like
No,
it.
I never read it, but
It
is
is.
it good?
Oh yeah,
You always come up with like odd ones that I've never heard of, and I love that. you're like, oh, the philosopher Zhonghe Wante from the first dynasty once said, you know,
It's
the
also
rock.
pronounced Camus. His last name, not Camus. I don't like it how he says it.
No, it's Camus.
No, it's spelt Camus. So I think he should really
but
change his pronunciation.
He's Algerian. Well, he was. He was
Well,
Algerian.
not anymore.
No,
Not
well, he
anymore, he's
still
Algerian.
is in spirit.
Yeah, in spirit, yeah. I mean,
Well,
assuming they go to heaven.
I'm so old. I did a book report on him because he was a contemporary philosopher when I was going to school. So
No,
kind of scary.
no, Tina, that's not true. That can't be true.
Well,
she's
they
103.
included anybody who was born after 1900 is what they consider.
Oh, okay. I was about to say because he died.
Yeah, no, he died in the 60s, so he died before I was born.
Oh, so he died young.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was the.
He was only in like his 60s, I'm guessing.
No, he wasn't
Not
even
even.
40s, I don't think.
Yeah,
Really?
40, yeah.
yeah.
He's like 47, I think.
Well,
Oh,
so
yeah.
he was the Dean, not Dean Kane. What's the guy's name?
Superman?
No, the guy that was in Rebel Without a Cause.
Dean.
James Dean.
James
Dean. He was the James Dean of philosophy.
Okay. Okay.
He loved
was like,
he
"I
loved the
don't want
ladies.
Yeah.
He got caught in the museum one time banging in the closet with his chick.
All right. I mean,
He'd
you
walk
can't
around
ask
with
for
his
more.
collar popped like a real rebel.
Had
Yeah.
a leather
Yeah.
jacket and shit.
Red leather.
And
jacket.
he was a big fan of Nietzsche and Kafka and all that other exciting
But he
stuff,
wasn't
so.
a nihilist, though. That's important to know.
I was about to
That's
ask that actually.
No, he
So he
was
wasn't.
not a nihilist. He
Okay.
was an absurdist. He's the father of absurdism.
You are a philosopher, sir.
Godfather, more like.
I can't wait to read your book. I really am. I mean that too. I would love to see the philosophy according to Mad or Mad philosophy.
No. I told you it's just called The Wonderful World of Madisms.
Yeah.
Well, like,
Or it could be
Michelle,
burnt hot, the Mad philosophy.
well,
Well,
like
see,
what?
the problem is he's got a whole section in the book about why women can't see like high definition,
They
which is
can't.
going to be really hard to translate when we turn it into a movie.
All right, let's get
That's
going
actually
with this.
true.
I know.
Well,
I know.
I
That's
wanted to see my thing.
okay, please go say your piece, sir.
I was gonna say, well, like what Michel de Montaigne said, if I speak of myself in different ways, it's because I look at myself in different ways. Does that make sense?
Mm, That's
He has
deep.
a girl's name.
that's deep.
Michel de Montaigne,
Oh,
and he's
that's
French.
the dude? Oh, come on.
Yeah.
All right, prologue.
Like I would read a chick.
Well, I'm about to read a prologue. Good way to move into that one. Thank you, man. Prologue. The day was gray and bitter cold, and the dogs would not take the scent. The big black bitch had taken one sniff
Sorry?
at the bear tracks, backed off, and
It's talking
skulked.
about Lizzo.
Oh, no, that's a real big. Oh, wait a minute.
She's
No,
lost a lot of weight.
She's
Has she?
losing weight. I'm not
has she? Okay,
Mhm.
okay. She can play the crystal flute. And skulked back to the
Show
pack
your
where
penis.
they probably hate her now that she's losing weight.
I think
No,
they
she
kinda
endorsed
do.
Kamala, so they love her again.
Okay. All right. Good. And skulked back to the pack where her tail between her legs. The dogs huddled together miserably on the riverbank as the wind snapped at them. Chet felt it too, biting through his layers of black wool and boiled leather. It was too bloody cold for man or beast, but here they were. His mouth twisted and he could almost feel the boils that covered his cheeks and neck growing red and angry. I should be safe back at the wall, tending the bloody ravens and making fires for old Maester Aemon. It was the bastard Jon Snow who had taken that from him and his fat friend Sam Tarly. It was their fault he was here, freezing his bloody balls off with a pack of hounds deep in the haunted forest. 7 hours. He gave the leashes a hard yank to get the dog's attention. Tracks, you bastard. All right, I can't do it. That was the only part I could do. 7 hours. Tracking, you
Wait,
bastard.
was that a Jamaican accent or?
He's like a Jamaican English Yemen guy.
Supposed to be bastard.
Yeah, you're right. Track.
Yeah,
you
you mispronounced it the other time too.
I know.
Bastard.
I'm embarrassed. I am so
ED.
embarrassed. I need to apologize.
I mean, just think of Jane. She's a bastard.
Bastard.
There she
That's
is. She's helping us.
Oh,
ID.
there she is, yeah, bastard. That's a bear print. You want some meat or no? Find. But the hounds only huddled closer, whining. Chet snapped his short lash above their heads, and the black bitch snarled at him. Dog meat would taste as good as bear, he warned her, his breath frosting with every word. Lark, the sister man, stood with him with his arms crossed over his chest and his hands tucked up into his armpits. He wore black wool gloves, but he was always complaining how his fingers were frozen. It's too bloody cold to hunt, he said. Bugger this bear. He's not worth freezing over. We can't go back empty-handed, Lark, rumbled Small Paul through the brown whiskers that covered most of his face. The Lord Commander wouldn't like that. There was ice under the big man's squashed pug nose where his snot had frozen. A huge hand in thick fur gloves clenched tight around the shaft of a spear. Very I was going to say homoerotic, but very phallic.
I mean,
As all
they could
good
be
things
both. Yeah.
So right now we're not getting anything about these characters. If you
Well,
we're
we get that he's hungry.
we get there
baby
looking
dog.
for a bear.
Yeah.
Right? Because at first I thought they were talking about, when I first read this, Moramon. But it's in lowercase. And he would have made sure it was like an uppercase bear. So they're hunting something. Now
Like a hairy gay guy?
oh, then it's very erotica. It's never too cold to hunt, Jane says. Now, see, here we go. Bugger that old bear, too. That's Moramon, said the sisterman, a thin man with sharp features and nervous eyes. Moramon will be dead before daybreak, remember? Who cares what he likes? Small Paul blinked his black little eyes. Maybe he had forgotten, Chet thought. He was stupid enough to forget most anything. Why do we have to kill the old bear? Why don't we just go off and let him be? You think he'll let us be? Said Lark. He'll hunt us down. You want to be hunted, you great mutton head? No, said Small Paul. I don't want that. I don't. So you'll kill him, said Lark. Yes. The huge man stamped the butt of his spear on the frozen riverbank. I will. He shouldn't hunt us. The sisterman took his hand from his armpits and turned to Chet. We need to kill all the officers, I say. Chet was sick of hearing it. We've been over this. The old bear dies. And Blaine from the Shadow Tower, Grubbs and Athan as well. They're ill luck for drawing the watch. Dywin and Barman for their tracking, and Sir Piggy for the ravens. That's all. We kill them quiet while they sleep. One scream and we're worm food, every one of us. His boils were red with rage. His boils. Like he has boils
I
on
didn't
his
know they
face.
react.
Yeah, I guess.
Anger.
Yeah, I mean, blood flow because you're mad.
Sorry, I'm gonna try not to EFAP this. My bad.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
MadFap it.
Well, MadFap sections. Okay.
Imagine
But that is a good.
Imagine if the boils pop when it's that cold. It's gonna freeze.
Oh
his face.
yeah.
I
You know what I
imagine
think?
it growing
go
like
ahead.
an army of darkness when Ash had another Ash growing out of his shoulder.
See, I think of the original movie Dune with Sting and the boils on the Harkonnen leader. He had all those boils that they would crush and stuff. Oh, man.
All I remember is codpiece.
It's herpes.
That was herpes, definitely herpes. Just do your bit and see your cousins do theirs. And Paul, try and remember it's third watch, not second. Third watch, the big man said through hair and frozen snot. Me and Softfoot, I remember, Chet. The moon would be black tonight. And they had jiggered the watches so as to have 8 of their own standing sentry.
Didn't have to go so hard on that last R.
Right?
No, I just want to make the J, I wanted to make sure there was a J in there. With 2 more guard, I knew you would say
Oh,
something.
I get it.
With 2 more garden horses.
I only said Nickelodeon. I swear.
Dark humor.
Yes.
Oh, I got that too. Damn it.
Oh, I didn't get in until after you said you got it.
With 2 more guarding the horses. It wasn't going to get much riper than that. Besides, the wildlings could be upon them any day now. Chet meant to be well away from here before that happened. He meant to live. Now, they're on the Fist of the First Men at this point, right? Is that where we are, Stig? Or are we near Craster's Keep? I think we're at the Fist, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I didn't do
I thought
the
they were
homework.
up near Crusters.
Well, they're on their way.
It's the,
Jane pointed out that what Chet equals Stieg because Stieg corrected him. He's like, it's third watch, not second.
Oh, okay. I like that. Jane, we love you, buddy. Oh, Release McCracken's here too. What up, man? Hard R. Jane. So they are at the Fist of the First Men, I'm pretty sure, or they're on their way to Craster's back from. But when they're there, they're attacked. So this seems to be before they're attacked.
Yeah, because the attack happens in a few minutes.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought too. The moon would be black tonight. And I already read that part. It wasn't going to get much riper than that. Besides the wildling, he meant to live. Okay. 300 sworn brothers of the Night's Watch had ridden north, 200 from Castle Black, and another 100 from the Shadow Tower. I just should have kept reading and we would have realized that. It was the biggest ranging in living memory, near a third of the Watch's strength. They meant to find Benjen Stark, Sir Waymore Royce, and the other rangers who'd gone missing and discover why the wildlings were leaving their villages. Well, they were no closer to Stark.
This is pretty thin. They send that many people to find a couple of missing rangers.
Right. I never believed that either. This was Mormont knows what's going on. Right? I mean, you send a third of your fighting men from the wall, knowing that the wildlings might be up to something, to find 2 missing guys, a couple others that aren't as important to the whole of the Night Watch, and then and just to see why the wildlings are leaving their villages. Mormont knows that the night is full of terrors, pretty much.
so you're saying he's a bit sus?
Oh, dead. Yeah, definitely. I think him, Benjen, Maester Aemon, they all know what's going on.
They're all full of shit. They have an agenda.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think their purpose is then? What's their goal?
I think proof. Why would you bring 300 men if you weren't deathly afraid you were going to be attacked?
I think the reason why
afraid you're going to be attacked. That doesn't make sense.
I think the reason why they, sent so many men is because of the undead ranger that seemingly attacked Mormont.
Right.
And right after that, Mormont did disguise John's sword, didn't he?
Yes, he changed
Made sure he himself didn't have the sword anymore, and he disguised the hilt.
Yes. Yeah. That's towards because John is with Corin Halfhand at this point, right? So he's not even in the picture. Again, that's why I think George tells us this isn't always in sequence from the last book, because towards the end of the last book, I thought he left with Corin. And I might be a little off on that, but I'm pretty sure Corin Halfhand and him at the end of Clash of Kings. In this book, right now, you took 300 men. What did you say, Grant? Why did you think?
No, I was saying, I don't know what, with what you were saying, that you think that they're up to something. It doesn't make sense. I'm just trying to figure out what do you think that they were trying to do? Why would he send so many people away if they're worried about an attack?
It's because he knows something's out there. He just doesn't know how much. I mean, they already were attacked by 2 guys who came back from the dead. You have missing rangers. Benjen Stark is a very important person. He's the first ranger. His knowledge alone is important.
He's also cold hands.
Well, maybe Waymore Royce has a very distinguished family, and he went missing, with no trace of where he is, so they're going to have to answer to that. So I think he decided, yeah, go ahead.
It seems likely that Maester Aemon is in contact with Bloodraven somehow.
Yeah, you've said that before.
Well, they do have a connection.
I mean, I don't doubt he is. I mean, he could be speaking to him. I mean, through the Ravens.
Yeah, but maybe Bloodraven said something to Aemon, who said something to Mormont. Might even be trickery involved.
Or maybe he used his bird to relay a message.
Yeah, the crow.
Maybe that's what he's doing. He's just out there looking for corn.
Yeah.
That bird there's something different about that bird. I mean,
the haunted forest is like a corn hub.
Yeah. But there is something interesting about them taking a third. It is, they're saying, well, let me finish this because I don't know if he brings up the rest of the dead, but you had the attack on Mormont, which Mormont, I think, knew what they were after. Like you said, Stig, by giving John the sword and sending him with Corin Halfhand, they might believe he still has it, Mormont. So they'll leave, John to his own, and they'll definitely go after Mormont at the head of 300 people. So if they're after the sword, and they think Mormont has it, and he has a host of 300, maybe he's actually doing it as a divergence away from John taking the sword with Corin Halfhand.
So you're under the assumption that they are definitely, it is the sword that they're after.
They don't attack John. They attack Mormont.
Yeah,
again.
They're heading toward. I know it looks like they're heading towards a sword. So, and you think that he's aware of that as well?
He may be. I mean,
well, that makes sense then. If you say that, yeah.
Because I feel like he has a knowledge. Go ahead.
I checked our interactive map of Westeros and was able to verify that, yes, that John is in the Skirling Pass as opposed to Mormont and Tarly and everybody else that is at the Fist of the First Men.
Right. And if the others can see through the eyes of their whites, they will think that
they will gain +2 to privilege.
Well, they'll see that Mormont was the one with the sword. That's who they attacked to get to that sword. It isn't the young kid that defended him. It was the old man who had the sword. So if he can make a big show of it and pull them away, he might be doing a sacrifice run. Because Mormont never is the same after they range. Well, granted, he doesn't come back. But he doesn't act...
He's dead?
Right. He doesn't act like himself after the Fist of the First Men. Oh, wait a minute. John was with him. So wait a minute. That doesn't make sense.
I feel like you just confused yourself.
I did. Because this is taking place. Well, we need to read a little bit more to know exactly where they are. White strength. I meant Benjen. Well, they were no closer to Stark and Royce than when they left the wall, but they'd learn where all the wildlings had gone, up into the icy heights of the God-forsaken Frostfang. They could squat up there till the end of time. It wouldn't prick Chet's boils none. But no, they were coming down the milk water. Chet raised his eyes, and there it was. The river's stony banks were bearded by ice, its pale milky waters flowing endlessly down out of the Frostfangs. And now Mance Rayder and his wildlings were flowing down the same way. Thorn Smallwood had returned in a lather 3 days past. While he was telling the old bear what his scouts had seen, his man Kedge White Eye told the rest of them, "They're still way up in the foothills, but they're coming," Kedge said, warming his hands over the fire. Harma the dog's head has the van, the poxy bitch. These names. Godey crept up on her camp and saw her playing by the fire. That fool Thumber John wanted to pick her off with an arrow, but Smallwood had better sense. Chet spat. How many were there? Could you tell? Many and more, 20, 30,000. We didn't stay to count. Harma had 500 in the van. Ever one a horse. Every one a horse. Yeah. The men around the fire exchanged uneasy looks. It was a rare thing to find even a dozen mounted wildlings and 500. Smallwood sent Bannon and me wide around the van to catch a peek at the main body. Kedge went on. There was no end of them. They're moving slow as a frozen river, 4-5 miles a day, but they don't look like they mean to go back to their villages neither. More than a half were women and children, and they were driving their animals before them, goats, sheep, even, what is that? A roach dragging sleds? A roach? Anybody? This word right here?
We can't see. We can't see.
A root.
A roach.
Aurochs.
Okay.
A root.
Everybody
on
Google.
fire.
That's Auroch.
What's an auroch?
It's the thing that's good for dragging sleds sometimes, but not normally.
It's an extinct cattle species.
Oh, so a big cattle. Okay. They'd loaded up with bales of fur and sides of meat, cages of chickens, butter chums, and spinning wheels, every damn thing they owned. The mules and garrons was so heavy laden you'd think their backs would break. The women as well. And they followed the milk water, Lark, the sisterman asked. I said so, didn't I? The milk water would take them past the Fist of the First Men, the ancient ring fort where the Night's Watch had made its camp. Any man with a thimble of sense could see that it was time to pull up stakes and fall back on the wall. The old bear had strengthened the first with spikes and pits and caltrops, but against such a host, all that was pointless. If they stayed here, they would be engulfed and overwhelmed. So yeah, we're back at the Fist of the First Men. So that does happen in A Clash of Kings, I believe, because at some point John is with Corrin at the end of this book. So this is definitely a flashback moment, just to let you guys know. So your map's wrong, Tina.
I'm sorry. I
No,
guess
it's
I
fine.
should donate. I guess I should donate more money to him so he can get it updated.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because one of John's last chapters, when Corrin Halfhand told him to find some brush for fire, John knew their end was near. So yeah, he's been with Corrin for a while, and that's what happens to Corrin at the end of that book.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
he gets popped.
Many hands. Stig had an update, so back as soon as the crap's done. It's close to an ox, but a cattle breed. I think it had massive horns. It was most likely died in the last during the Younger Dryas, I believe.
Oh, that
what
I was
happened
thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking because that was the massive megafauna die off in at least the northern hemisphere. So
Megaphonic warhead.
Megafauna Warhead. Love that character.
My favorite X-Men character.
Yeah, that's the straight one, right?
Yeah.
And Thorne Smallwood wanted to attack. Sweet Donald Hill was squire to Sir Mallador Locke, and the night before last, Smallwood had come to Locke's tent. Sir Mallador had been of the same mind as old Sir Auden Withers, urging a retreat on the wall, but Smallwood wanted to convince him otherwise. This king beyond the wall will never look for us so far north, Sweet Donald reported him saying, and this great host of his is a shambling horde full of useless mouths who won't know what end of a sword to hold. One blow will take all the fight out of them and send them howling back to their hovels for another 50 years. 300 against 30,000. Chet called the rank madness. And what was matter still was that Sir Malidor had been persuaded, and the two of them together were on the point of persuading the old bear. If we wait too long, this chance may be lost, never to come again, Smallwood was saying to anyone who would listen. Against that, Sir Auden Withers said, "We are the shield that guards the realms of men. You do not throw away your shield for no good purpose." But to that, Thorne Smallwood said, "In a sword fight, a man's surest defense is the swift stroke that slays his foe, not cringing behind a shield." Neither Smallwood nor Withers had the command, though. Lord Mormont did, and Mormont was waiting for his other scouts, for Jarman Buckwell and the men who'd climbed the giant stairs, and for Corn Halfhand and Jon Snow, who'd gone to probe the Shirling Pass. Buckwell and the Halfhand were late in returning, though, dead most like. Chet pictured Jon.
They were in Skirling Pass.
So maybe you are right. Okay. maybe actually the end of that book is the same as the beginning of this book. Shut up. All right. I should have read some of the end of the other book. I'm sorry. Where are my people out there? Come on, give us where everybody's at. I know Marby Dog knows this stuff. And where's Kirsten? And where are you, my man? Kolnitsky.
So
you guys know.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I don't usually see a lot of triple negatives in sentences, but could you decipher what Marby was saying with this one?
Wildlings don't know nothing about riding no horses. That's very American right there.
Nailed it.
It's West. It's the old West.
Does that mean
bro.
that they don't know anything about riding horses, or they
Yeah,
do?
they don't. They don't know nothing about riding no horses. Come on, man. Mad, back me up on this.
Yeah, man. That's at West Texas. I'm East.
They don't know nothing about riding no horses.
You still going over it?
Yeah, still going over it.
Yeah,
So
break it down.
triple negative is cool.
And I immigrated to Texas, so I have no idea.
Southern dialect.
Yeah, I usually just stop at double negatives.
Oh,
So.
bless your heart. Okay. So Chet pictured Jon Snow lying blue and frozen on some bleak mountaintop with a wildling spear up his bastard arse. The thought made him smile. I hope they killed his bloody wolf as well. There's no bear here, he decided abruptly. Just an old print. That's all. Back to the fist. The dogs almost yanked him off his feet, as eager to get back as he was. Maybe they thought they were going to get fed. Chet had a laugh. He hadn't fed them for 3 days now, to turn them mean and hungry. Tonight, before slipping off into the dark, he turned them loose among the horse line. After Sweet Donald Hill and Clubfoot Carl cut the tethers, they'll have a snarling hound and panic horses all over the fist, running through fires, jumping the ring wall, and trampling down tents. With all that confusion, it might be hours before anyone noticed that 14 brothers were missing. Lark had wanted to bring in twice that number, but what could you expect from some stupid fish breath sisterman? Whisper a word in the wrong ear, and before you knew it, you'd be short ahead. No, 14 was a good number. Enough to do what needed doing, but not so many that they couldn't keep the secret. Chet had recruited most of them himself. Small Paul was one of his, the strongest man on the wall, even if he was slower than a dead snail. He'd once broken a wildling's back with a hug. They had Dirk as well, named for his favorite weapon, and the little gray man the brothers called Softfoot, who raped 100 women in his youth and liked to boast how none had never seen nor heard him until he shoved it up inside them. Wow, good people up at the wall, right? Good people.
All right, that was something.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to, I love the people that are like, the reason George hasn't released the next book is because of the way he writes and because he doesn't want to get canceled. George doesn't give a shit. He writes the most like disturbing shit you'll read in a fantasy novel. I mean, the whole Jane Poole, just right there. Read her story, that poor girl. She gets dogged, literally. The plan was Chet's. He was the clever one. He's been steward to old Maester Aemon for 4 good years before that bastard Jon Snow had done him out so his job could be handed to his fat pig of a friend. When he killed Sam Tarly tonight, he planned to whisper, "Give my love to Lord Snow," right in his ear before he sliced Sir Piggy's throat open to let the blood come bubbling out through all those layers of soot. Chet knew the ravens, so he wouldn't have no trouble there, no more than he would with Tarly. One touch of the knife and that craven would piss his pants and start blubbering for his life. Let him beg. It won't do him no good. After he opened his throat, he'd open the cages and shoo the birds away so no messages reached the wall. Softfoot and Small Paw would kill the old bear. Dirk would do Blaine, and Lark and his cousin would slice Bannon and the old Dywin to keep them from sniffing after their trail. They've been caching food for a fortnight. That's 2 weeks. And Sweet Donald and Clubfoot Carl would have their horses ready. With the Mormont dead, command would pass to Sir Auden Withers, an old done man, and failing. He'll be running for the wall before sundown, and he won't waste no men sending them after us neither. So, like, I forget you see it from Chet's point of view. Like, he's been planning this for a while. You know, what happens to Mormont later at Craster's Keep. Like, when you read the first book, you never expect, like, the mutiny's already been planned. It's been planned for a while now.
It's
Probably
crazy
before
when
they
you
even
send-
left.
When you send all your criminals and your bad people to one place, that there'd be deception going on.
Right.
Right.
And what's nuts is that, like, only like 170 some odd years ago, maybe 90 years ago, like the wall was still honorable per, House of the Dragons. So how did it lose favor that quick?
Cregan.
It reminds me of the firehouses in the early 1900s.
Like they
Because they
battle
would
each other.
And they would hire a whole bunch of criminals. In fact, they would hire gang members because they would fight other fire departments when it came to fires. So they had to have people to, like, enforcers, like in hockey.
Right.
Kind of reminds me of that because at one point being a firefighter had a high reputation until it was just overwhelmed with all of these. I guess like the fight and it's a free place to live, and then they had to get rid of them and bring in professionals and shit, and before it could regain its reputation again and credibility. Of course,
Right.
they never really gained it.
Thank God they don't do that with the police force. Oh wait.
It blows my mind. Like the Night's Watch has been around for about 10,000 years, I think. And
Yeah,
it took only about less than 200 for it to turn into this. Because what we see in the show is Cregan Stark. That place is still an honorable place to go and be like a brother of the Night's Watch. And I feel like that kind of was the wrong direction to go for the show because it makes it's too quick of a fall. You know what I mean?
Well,
Right.
You know that there's countries that have gone to shit in just a decade. So
That's true. It could be one generation, right?
yep.
Look
Who
at
remembers
Ireland.
Sarajevo?
What were you gonna say, Teresa?
Oh, I was just saying Ireland. It fell in one generation.
Yeah. But like honorably, like it went from being like a honorable
Are you saying
thing.
the Irish were never honorable?
No, but I'm saying they weren't dropped
"Oh,
to
wow."
not. No, you son of a bitch. No horse, no here. No, what I mean is like we see the Night's Watch through the eyes of Cregan Stark and Jace, and it seems like it's still this very honorable thing to do.
That's only because he said that. He's there and he wants to make himself feel better.
Well, he's keeping all the men are there at the wall. He can only send all the old men. Now that in the book, it seems like he's kind of playing the odds, like make it look good and send the old ones. And then he is a very honorable man at the end when he knows shit has to get done. But the show, that's what I'm saying. Like, the show made it, they should have had something about it that was, okay, it's still a little bit honorable, but there are a lot of scumbags type things here. But it still seemed like we hear that in the North, it's still, something honorable. Are there still as many scumbags there 200 years ago? Or is that more recent?
I wonder if it was an idea where too many of the houses south of the North were only sending their crappiest people they could convince to go, where in the North it was still traditionally an honorable,
right, for like a third brother or some second brother. Well, and I also was one.
Sorry.
No. I was real quick, and then to you, Stig. I was thinking, could it have been Robert's rule that ruined the wall? Like, the Targaryens always kept it like, okay, we'll support you, and then when Robert took over, why is it important? Even though Ned's his friend and all, why is the wall important? It's just a stupid old tradition. Send all our scumbags up there. What were you going to say, Stig?
Wouldn't have Aemon have mentioned something about that when he's talking to Jon about stuff, the history and everything? You would have thought, it wasn't always like this. Some sort of line in there to say that it was from Robert Swan.
Wait a minute, say that again?
Well, okay, what I'm saying is I don't think it's from Robert's one. I think that's too quick.
No, I know. I'm just trying to figure out.
Maybe the Mad King, he didn't give a shit about it.
Yeah, but then
every time someone did something that he didn't agree with, he just sent them to the wall, and they're all like.
Well, no, he set everybody on fire.
Yeah, that was later. He evolved his plan. It didn't start with fire.
That's true. I'm just wondering if, when they lost the prince that was promised prophecy, did they stop sending?
Anakin?
Yeah, Anakin Skywalker, you're right. But like, if you want to go by the show's rules, we know that prophecy is going to be lost during that show. Could that have been really, if you want to fit, because George said that Aegon the Conqueror knew, could that be why people started thinking it wasn't that important, because that prophecy wasn't still there for the king to send people up there?
Well, I mean, it makes sense if that's Robert that got rid of that.
Go ahead, Stig.
Well, if you look at the books and even the show, honorable men are getting mocked all through the story. I mean, they piss on Ned for it all the time.
Right.
And
that is true.
Sir Barristan Selmy gets mocked in court for, having been honorable, just dismissed and tossed away. And hell, even to some extent, Jaime.
Yeah. Once he becomes acts honorable, even like he plays off that he's not honorable when Ned does his bullshit. But even when he starts acting honorable, the Blackfish disrespects him.
Yeah, and
that's because the Blackfish is badass.
Dunk. He is actually honorable. From the Dunk and Egg stories, he's being pissed on too, and that's so it already started. I mean, we see piles of supposedly honorable knights that are just there for the money, to showing up for the World Cup to make money, right? The tournaments.
Yeah, that's true. I always assumed it was a gradual fall, but maybe it was a quick fall, because after the long night, they were like 10,000 strong. Like, every castle was full. And now they can only fill 5 of them, before Jon takes over and starts putting wildlings in the castles.
Well, they've got 3 that are manned, and they've got a couple that are only just unmanned, because he tries to send I can't remember who it was. He tries to send one of them there, and then they get the head cut off instead.
Oh yeah, what's his name?
Yeah.
But right now it's the Shadow Tower, Eastwatch by the Sea, and Castle Black are definitely full. Those are their 3 main castles, but I can't remember. And if someone could look it up, how many castles are at the wall? I think it's like 9 to 11 castles.
I think it's 13.
Okay, it could be 13
Yeah,
castles.
There are 8. There are 18 on the map.
Oh, 18. Okay, that's a lot. And there's only a certain amount that they even have a skeleton crew in. The main forces are at the 3, all the way to the west, all the way to the east, and in the center. Well, kind of center is Castle Black. So I'm sorry, I went off on this tangent. It's just go ahead.
After book 5, they have more because John filled up a couple of more, and I think Stan has filled up one that they're fixing up. So
yeah.
There's like 7 or 8 now that are manned at least.
Yep.
Doesn't one of them have like a weirwood throne or seal or something in them?
No, under it. They have the Weirwood Gate.
Yeah.
Under the one that
Tower.
Shadow Tower. Thank you. Yeah, that's
Which also leaks blood.
Yeah.
Bran gets, so something drips on his face
Mm-hmm.
when they pass under it, and he thinks it, it tastes salty.
Yeah,
So,
it does.
I was thinking it
I've
was
heard.
blood. I didn't think it was some other thing, but
Right, but in his mind, he probably thought it was sap, from the Weirwood door, but it's probably blood. I mean, think about how many children were sacrificed through that door. Yeah, that door's evil. No, way more than that. Way more than that. The dogs pulled at him. All right, how much more? It's not as long as the other one, I think. The dogs pulled at him as they made their way through the trees. Chet could see the fist punching its way through the green. The day was so dark that the old bear had the torches lit, in a great circle of them burning all along the ring wall that crowned the top of the steep stony hill. The 3 of them waded across a brook. The water was icy cold, and patches of ice were spreading across its surface. I'm going to make for the coast, Lark the sister man confide. Me and my cousin will build us a boat, sail back home to the sisters, and at home they'll know you for deserters and lop off your fools' heads, thought Chet. There was no leaving the Night's Watch once you said your words. Anywhere in the 7 kingdoms, they'd take you and kill you. Ali Lophand now, he was talking about sailing back to Tyrosh, where he claimed men didn't lose their hands for a bit of honest thievery, nor get sent off to freeze their life away for being found in bed with some knight's wife. Chet had Wade going with him, but he didn't speak their wet, girly tongue. And what could he do in Tyros? He had no trade to speak of, growing up in Hag's Mire. His father had spent his life grubbing in other men's fields and collecting leeches. He'd strip down bare but for a thick leather cloth and go wading in the murky waters. When he climbed out, he'd be covered from nipple to ankle. Sometimes he made Chet help pull the leeches off. One had attached itself to his palm once, and he'd smashed it against the wall in revulsion. His father beat him bloody for that. The maesters bought the leeches at 12 for a penny. Lark could go home if he liked. Damn Tyros too, but not Chet. If he never saw Hag's Mire again, it would be too bloody soon. He had liked the look of Craster's keep himself. Craster lived high as a lord there, so why shouldn't he do the same? That would be a laugh. Chet the leechman's son, a lord with a keep. His banner could be a dozen leeches on a field of pink. But why stop at lord? Maybe he should be a king. Mance Rayder started out a crow. I could be a king, same as him, and have me some wives. Craster had 19, not even counting the young ones, the daughters he hadn't gotten around to bedding yet. Half them wives were as old, ugly as Craster, but they didn't matter. The old ones Chet could put to work cooking and cleaning for him, pulling carrots and slopping pigs. while the young ones warmed his bed and bore his children. Craster wouldn't object. Not once Small Paul gave him a hug. The only women Chet had ever known were the whores he'd bought in Molestown. When he'd been younger, the village girls took one look at his face with its boils and its wen and turned away sickened. The worst was that slattern Bessa. She spread her legs for every boy in Hagsmire, so he'd figure why not him too. He even spent a morning picking wildflowers when he heard she liked them, but she'd just laughed in his face and told him she'd crawl in a bed with his father's leeches before she'd crawl in one with him. She stopped laughing when he put his knife in her.
Oh,
That was sweet.
Well, she was kind of a bitch.
Yeah, she might
yeah,
have.
but
deserved
knife,
What?
like a knife level bitch.
knife. I mean, he knifed the bitch.
Well, once she said leeches, I mean, come on.
yeah,
She said
and
she'd
he has-
rather screw with what would she say? Yeah.
Yeah, she'll have her sleep
Well,
with
oh,
the leeches.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty
cold.
gross. That's cold, and he has boils. I don't know
I
why
mean,
he didn't put
sticks
the
and
leeches on
stones,
the
guy.
boils. Yeah,
Sticks
I guess.
and
Well,
stones.
it's sticks and knives. Yeah,
Too bad he didn't live nowadays where he could get a facial.
there you go. Or
It can
yeah,
help with that.
Just like
Yeah.
Bran earlier.
that was
Oh.
sweet. The look on her face. So he pulled the knife out and put it in her again. When they caught him down near Seven Streams, old Lord Walder Frey hadn't even bothered to come himself to judge him, do the judging. He sent one of his bastards, the Walder Rivers. The next thing Chet had known, he was walking to the wall with the foul-smelling black devil Yoren. To pay for his one sweet moment, they took his whole life. You know, that's not fair. He only
Yeah,
stabbed
he only
her
killed him.
twice.
Yeah, he only stabbed one chick.
Yeah, I mean, and she was kind of a slut, you know.
What was he wearing?
Slutty things. I don't know. I didn't know that. Night's Watch were 10,000 more strong during Aegon's conquest and less than 100 or 1,000 in 298 AC. Yep, so it's his fault. All right, I'm with you. But now he meant to take it back, and Craster's women too. That twisted old wildling has the right of it. If you want a woman to wife, you take her, and none of this giving her flowers so that maybe she don't notice your bloody boils. Chet didn't mean to make that mistake again. It would work. He promised himself for the 100th time, so long as we get away clean. Sir Otten would strike south for the Shadow Tower, the shortest way to the wall. He won't bother with us. Not Withers. All he'll want is to get back whole. Thorne Smallwood now, he'd want to press on with the attack, but Sir Otten's caution ran too deep, and he was the senior. It wouldn't matter anyhow once we're gone. Smallwood can attack anyone he likes. What do we care? If none of them ever return to the wall, no one will ever come looking for us. They'll think, what's up, little guy? They'll think, I'm sorry, I lost my space. What do they care if none of them return? No one would ever look for us. No, don't go back there. Sorry, give me a second. I got a little one
do
here.
your thing.
Speak amongst yourselves.
So, what do y'all think about these latest politics?
Yeah,
Mm.
let's cancel Sporking stream in one sentence.
That wouldn't be it. It would be something about the Jew.
Whoa there.
About the what? I didn't actually hear what you said.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Oh,
All right, I'm back.
For Grant's people.
Okay.
As soon as about Grant's people. You know, the Australians.
Yes. We run the road.
Yeah, buddy.
With your
Okay.
space lasers.
Space lasers is that. Okay, what do we care if none of them ever return to the wall? No one will ever come looking for us. They'll think we died with the rest. That was a new thought. And for a moment it tempted him, but they would need to kill Sir Otten and Sir Mallard Locke as well to give Smallwood the command. And both of them were well attended day and night. No, the risk was too great. Chet, said Small Paul as they trudged along a stony game trail through sentinels and soldier pines. What about the bird? What bloody bird? The last thing he needed now was some muttonhead going on about a bird. The old bear's raven, Small Paul said. If we kill him, who's going to feed his bird? Who bloody well cares? Kill the bird too if you like. I don't want to hurt no bird, the big man said. But that's a talking bird. What if it tells what we did? Lark the sister man laughed. Small Paul, thick as the castle wall, he mocked. Now, isn't that what they say about Dunk?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dunk the lunk, thick as a castle wall, or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe he's related. Small Paul is the biggest guy, strongest guy. You shut up with that, said Small Paul dangerously. Paul, said Chet before the big man got too angry. When they find the old man lying in a pool of blood with his throat slit, they won't need no bird to tell them someone killed him. Small Paul chewed on that a moment. That's true, he allowed. Can I keep the bird then? I like that bird. He's yours, said Chet, just to shut him up.
I did verify that, yes, they did call him Dunk the Lunk, thick as a castle wall.
And George Martin did say that there is a descendant of Dunk in the books.
Yes.
Everyone
he said more
it's Hodor.
Well, there's more than one.
Yeah.
Because Brianna Tarth, I think, is a descendant of his also.
It explains why she's so tall and thick.
Like a castle wall.
How big is the feet, though?
Oh, they're bloody big. They're bloody big. Holy crap, is this one that long too? We might not finish this one tonight, boys and girls. Somebody else want to read? I can always send the link. Because
I don't do good with English.
Oh,
no good English in
I
you?
like reading, but
all right. You want me to send it to you?
Last one.
Yeah,
I've
you
done
did.
my duty.
Yeah, you
I
did.
sat there holding a hardcover the whole time.
That was pretty impressive. Hold on, let me put this in the private chat. I'll keep reading a little bit more.
Never mind.
Oh, you want me just to scroll?
No, it's fine. You could send me the link, or you could just scroll and then I could
read
it. Whatever easier.
Yeah, please start at the top. That's where we left off.
Okay. We can always eat him if we get hungry, offered Lark. Small Paul clouded up again. Best not try and eat my bird, Lark. Best not. Chet could hear voices drifting through the trees. Close your bloody mouths, both of you. We're almost to the fist. They emerged near the west of the hill and walked around south where the slope was gentler. Near the edge of the forest, a dozen men were taking archery practice. They had carved outlines on the trunks of trees and were losing shafts at them. Look, said Lark, a pig with a bow. Lost. Okay, sure enough. The nearest bowman was Sir Piggy himself. Aw, the fat boy who had stolen his place with Master Aemon. Just the sight of Samwell Tarly filled him with anger. Stewarding for Meister Aemon had been as good a life as he had ever known. The old blind man was undemanding, and Clytus had taken care of most of his wants anyways. Chet's duties were easy, cleaning the rookery, a few fires to build, a few meals to fetch, and Aemon never once hit him. Hey, what a guy. Thinks he can just walk in and shove me out on account of being highborn and knowing how to read. Well, actually, now they
It kind of gives him a little up on that.
Yeah. Might be I ask him to read my knife before I open his throat with it. You go on, he told the others. I want to watch this. The dogs were pulling, anxious to go with him, to the food they thought would be waiting at the top. Chet kicked. Oh, no, not okay.
Yeah, say it.
Chet kicked the bitch with the toe of his boot, and that settled them down some. He kicked a dog. He needs to die.
Oh, it's just a dog. Oh, that's terrible then.
Oh, I thought he was talking about his wife. Never mind.
Oh, no. I mean, you don't hit a dog or kick a dog. That's not okay. He watched from the trees.
Someone should do a movie about that, about someone who hurt a dog and then that person gets really upset and goes on like a killing spree. I think it might do well.
Yeah, I
Oh,
thought.
yeah.
Ooh, yeah, good call.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe one day
Yeah.
there might be a TV show where they randomly throw in a kicked dog, and that's all anyone talks about. House of the Dragon. I digress. He watched from the trees as the fat boy wrestled with a longbow as tall as he was, his red moon face screwed up with concentration. Hey, this fat phobia is not okay. 3
There's a
arrows.
lot of it. There's a lot of it.
Oh, I know, but he's a dick. I mean, it's funny. Okay, 3 arrows stood in the ground before him. Tarly knocked and drew, held the draw a long moment as he tried to aim and let it fly. Yeah, you're right. This is very sexual language
Homoerotic,
here.
yeah.
The shaft vanished into
Yeah, it did.
into the greenery.
Sorry, could you say that slowly but with a little bit more raspy voice?
The shaft vanished into the greenery.
Into the bush.
Awesome.
Come on, right there for you.
I'll be back at 15.
Okay. 15, my goodness.
He lost
All
his
right.
photo after.
I'm back.
No,
All right.
it's usually 2 with like 13 minutes of crying.
Well, you gotta allow 10 minutes for cuddling. So
Yourself?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Self-love, man.
Yeah,
Well,
I
he's
care about it.
married, so it's okay. Yeah, you need to cuddle. Cuddling's important.
Yep.
Chet, or get her a teddy bear. Chet laughed loudly. I'm okay. Well, never mind. I digress. Okay. Chet laughed loudly. A snort of sweet disgust. We'll never find that one, and I'll be blamed, announced Ed Tullett, the dour, gray-haired squire everyone called Dolores Ed. I love it. Nothing ever goes missing that they don't look at me. Ever since that time I lost my horse. Oh,
How do you lose a horse?
I know, for frack's sake.
Did he check the crack in the cushion of the couch? I mean,
yeah.
Oh man, I lost my horse again. Yeah.
It's like,
Check your pockets, everyone. See if you picked it up.
Losing an Lamborghini, for crying out loud. Yeah, as if that could be helped. He was white and it was snowy. These people are so dumb.
That's a bit racist. That's like saying, well, he was black and it was dark.
That's true. This is incredibly racist. He was white and it was snowing. What did they expect? The wind took that one. Hey, the wind did it, said Gren, another friend of Lord Snow's. Try to hold the bow steady, Sam. It's heavy, the fat boy complained, but he put the second arrow all the same. This one went high, sailing through the branches 10 feet above the target. I believe you knocked a leaf off that tree, said Dolores said. Fall is falling fast enough. There's no need to help it. He sighed. And we all know what follows fall. Gods, but I am cold. Shoot the last arrow, Samwell. I believe my tongue is freezing to the roof of my mouth. And that is why I moved to Texas.
mm-hmm.
Just saying. Roof of the mouth. Okay. Sir Piggy lowered the bow, and Chet thought he was going to start bawling. It's too hard. That was me today at Pilates. Notch, draw, and loose, said Grin. Go on. Dutifully, the fat boy plucked his final arrow from the earth, notched it to his long bow, drew, and released. He did it quick. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm going to hell. He did it quickly, without squinting, along the shaft painstakingly, as he had the first time. You need to scroll for me. The first 2 times, rather, I was guessing. The arrow stuck. Wait, no. Sporky, are you there?
No, he's gone.
Okay. Wait, there we go. Don't move. Okay, it's too hard. The first 2 times. The arrow struck the charcoal outlined low in the chest and hung quivering. I hit him. Sir Piggy sounded shocked. Gwyn, did you see? Ed, look. I hit him. Put it between his ribs, I'd say, said Gwyn. Yeah, it's heavy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'll try to click on his link here. Oopsie. Is it going to work? No.
Is Sir Piggy a nickname, or is that like?
Oh, did I kill him? The fat boy wanted to know.
I'm
Tullet
back.
shrugged. Might have punctured a lung if he had a lung. Most
Why wouldn't
trees
he have a
don't,
lung?
as a rule.
Oh well,
Well, trees don't. He took the bow from Sam's hand. I've seen worse shots, though. And made a few. Sir Piggy was beaming. To look at him, you'd think he'd actually done something. This guy needs to die. He's a jerk. But when he saw Chet and the dogs, his smile curled up and died squeaking. You hit a tree, Chet said. Let's see how you shoot when it's Mance Raiders lads. They won't stand there with their arms out and their leaves rustling. Oh no, they'll come right at you, screaming in your face, and I bet you'll piss those britches. One of them will plant his axe right between those little pig eyes. The last thing you will hear will be the thunk it makes when it bites into your skull.
The best
fat
part,
Lord.
the best
Yeah.
part is that Sir Piggy here, Tarly, is the first man probably in 10,000 years that kills a white.
Yeah.
Kills
Yeah.
one of the White Walkers, and which is dope.
Is Sir Piggy like his given name, or?
I think it's his like Christian name.
No,
The,
they
the
made
seven. I mean the seven.
I
name?
think his real name is Pork Hog.
oh
Oh, his
Sir
son becomes
Chop
an
a
X.
lot.
His son becomes a X-wing fighter, doesn't he?
Mm.
Oh, I remember Piggy. Yeah, from I digress. But hey, if you sit on your ass reading
Aw,
all
poor
day like
Piggy.
he did, you'd be a big boy. Like Thomas
Yeah, I
Aquinas.
mean his father was going to kill him, so
Yeah.
he's used to it.
Yeah, gosh. Yeah, Father of the Year.
Yeah,
Going by TV show canon, good thing that Danny burned him because he had it coming. The
yeah.
fat boy was shaking. Dolores said, put a hand on his shoulder. Brother, he said solemnly, just because it happened that way for you doesn't mean Samuel will suffer the same. Ha ha.
Bam.
What are you talking about, Tullet? The axe that split your skull. Is it true that half your wits leaked on the ground and your dogs ate them? I love it. I love
That's
it.
why they kick dogs. Yeah, Dolores said, and those guys, they defend. It's all because of Jon Snow, but they all defend Samuel, which I like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like making fun of low-hanging fruit, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
It's like kicking a puppy.
and Gren's a big boy, so
Mhm.
he can defend himself. That's why Chet doesn't do much.
To be fair, though, the dog was snarling at Chet first.
Yep.
What was the dog wearing?
Yeah, and also
Slutty stuff.
Dogs are people. So if people give you shit, it's okay to kick them.
Well, maybe the dog was snarling because the dog knew he was an asshole.
Maybe the dog was in a gang. We don't know.
Mm.
What
He could have
color's
been
the
out.
dog?
Bow wow wow. You beat.
He could have been. I don't
Who
know, like
now?
Yukaza. I
Oh,
screwed that up. Yakuza.
The big lout grin laughed, and even Samuel Tarley managed a weak little smile. Aw. Chet kicked. Oh my gosh! Chet kicked the nearest dog, yanked
Yep.
on their leashes, and started up the hill. There you go. Karma's a bitch.
Yeah.
Smile all you want, Sir Piggy. We'll see who laughs tonight. He only wished he had time to kill Tullet as well. Gloomy, horse-faced fool. That's what he is. The climb was steep, even on this side of the fist, which had the gentlest slope. Partway up, the dogs started barking and pulling at him, figuring they'd get fed soon. He gave them a taste of his boot instead, and a crack of the whip for the
Patrick.
Oh, damn it, Snake.
Yeah.
Oh, that's evil. Oh, and I'm saying this as a cat lover. Okay. Once they were tied up, he went. Oh wait, and a crack of the whip for the big ugly one that snapped at him. Once they were tied up, he went to report. The prints were there, like Giant said, but the dogs wouldn't track. He told Mormont in front of his big black tent. Again, racist. Down by the river like that could be old prints. A pity. Lord Commander Mormont had a bald head and a great shaggy gray beard, and sounded as tired as he looked. We might all have been better for a bit of fresh meat. The raven on his shoulder bobbed its head and echoed, meat, meat, meat.
Repeating what Mormont said to his young squire 15 minutes earlier.
Oh, the true version.
The warmth of a young boy. What?
Ever done the fist of the first man, boy?
It's a rite of passage.
Wow.
You know,
And now your watch
It
begins.
was a different time.
Oh, no. No.
Poor Teresa's never going to be able to read these books the same.
Well, we already ruined Helm's Deep in the Two Towers. And,
the Ginger Ninja wants to know who let the dogs out. Chet.
Oh.
Chet.
Oh my god.
well,
You get it? It's Chet.
I get it.
Oh, okay.
No, please explain.
I will. I'll do a 3-hour stream with you later.
Okay. And poor one-man show. Sorry you came in the middle of this. We could cook the bloody dogs, Chet thought, but he kept his mouth shut until the old bear sent him on his
Which
way.
would make them hot dogs, wouldn't it?
No.
Exactly.
I hate that I laughed at that.
Because you knew it was good.
It's
And
the,
that's
it's the
the-
accent and the delivery because you're like,
It
that's
really
funny.
is.
You're like, is he serious?
And that's the last time I'll need to bow my head to that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I was
Well,
bow
the
his
last time
head.
he needs to bow wow. He's
oil.
He thought to with satisfaction. It seemed to him that it was growing even colder, which he would have sworn wasn't possible. The dogs huddled together miserably in the hard frozen mud, and Chet was half tempted to crawl in with them. Instead, he wrapped a black wool scarf round the lower part of his face. Oh my! Now he really looks scary. Okay, leaving a slit for his mouth between the winds. I saw a true crime thing with this. It was warmer if he kept moving, he found, so he made a slow circuit of the perimeter with a wad of sour leaf, sharing a chew or two with the Black brothers on guard and hearing what they had to say. None of the men on the day...
Real quick, if you're sharing a chew or two, does that mean you're passing it mouth to mouth?
No.
Oh.
It's like sharing an ale. Both of you drink from your own ale.
Okay. I was hoping that was what it was. I was just making sure.
Yeah. Well, okay.
You never know.
It sounds gross anyways. None of the men on the day watch were part of his scheme. Even so, he figured it was good to have some sense of what they were thinking. Mostly what they were thinking was that it was bloody cold. Darn right.
Mm-hmm.
They need to have a hot toddy.
Hot toddy.
The wind was rising as the shadows lengthened. It made a high, thin sound as it shivered through the stones of the ring wall. I hate that sound, Little Giant said. It sounds like a babe in the brush, wailing away for milk. When he finished the circuit and returned to the dogs, he found Lark waiting for him. The officers are in the old bear's tent again, talking something fierce. That's what they do, said Chet. They're highborn, all but Blaine. They get drunk on words instead of wine. Lark sidled closer. Cheese for Wits keeps going on about the bird, he warned, glancing about to make certain no one was close. Now he's asking if we catched any seed for the damn thing. It's a raven, said Chet. It eats corpses. Lark grinned. His might be, or yours. It seemed to Chet that they needed the big man more than they needed Lark. Stop fretting about Small Paul. You do your part, he'll do his. Twilight, yay, was creeping through the woods at the time he rid himself of the sister men and sat down to edge his sword. It was bloody hard work with his gloves on, but he wasn't about to take them off. Oh gosh. It's bloody hard. Okay.
It's hard with gloves on.
Yeah, you well, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's like that old
What's
poem. That, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I wonder where my glove will go.
That's some classic Stieg there from back in the day. Oh no. Cold as it was, any fool that touched steel with a bare hand was going to lose a patch of skin. The dogs whimpered when the sun went down. He gave them water and curses. Half a night more, and you can find your own feast. By then he could smell supper. Dywin was holding forth at the cook fire as Chet got his heel of hard bread and a bowl of bean and bacon soup from Hake the cook. The wood's too silent, the old forester was saying. No frogs near that river. No owls in the dark. I never heard no deader wood than this.
So,
But
like
to be
these
fair,
old.
if it's that cold, the frogs wouldn't be there anyway.
Yeah, true. But it is interesting. Like the old forester realizes something's off. You know, the guy who's been in those woods probably for many years realizes it's too quiet. Something's up,
Yeah.
and it ain't man love,
And there's no hooters to be found.
right?
No.
Right? No hooters.
No owls. Them teeth of yours sound pretty dead, said Hake. Dywin clacked his wooden teeth. No wolves, neither. There was before, but no more. Where'd they go, you figure? Someplace warm, said Chet. Of the dozen-odd brothers who sat by the fire, 4 were his. He gave each one a hard, squinty look as he ate. What a weirdo. To see if any showed signs of breaking. Dirk seemed calm enough, sitting silent and sharpening his blade the way he did every night. And sweet Donald Hill was all easy japes. He had white teeth and fat red lips and yellow locks that he wore in an artful tumble about his shoulder. Ooh, pretty hair. And he claimed to be the bastard of some Lannister. Maybe he was at that. Chet had no use for pretty boys.
Oh, sure he didn't.
Then he likes ugly ones. Okay, no use for pretty boys, nor for bastards neither. But sweet Donald seemed like to hold his own. He was less certain about the forester the brothers called Sawwood, more for his snoring than for anything to do with trees. Just now he looked so restless he might never snore again. And Maislin was worse. Chet could see sweat trickling down his face, despite the frigid wind. The beads of moisture sparkled in the firelight, so much like little wet jewels. Maislin wasn't eaten either, nor only staring at his soup as if the smell of it was about to make him sick. I need to watch that one, Chet thought. A symbol! The shout came suddenly from a dozen throats and quickly spread to every part of the hilltop camp. Men of the Night's Watch, assemble at the central fire. And so shit's hitting the hay. Okay, I mean, not hitting the hay, rather a fan. Frowning, Chet finished his soup and followed the rest. The old bear stood before the fire with small Rudlock. Withers and Blaine ranged behind him in a row. Mormont wore a cloak of thick black fur, and his raven perched upon his shoulder, preening its black feathers. This can't be good. Chet squeezed between Bound Babar and some shadow tower men. When everyone was gathered, save for the watchers in the woods and the guards on the ring wall, Mormont cleared his throat and spat. The spittle, gross. The spittle was frozen before it hit the ground. Brothers, he said, men of the Night's Watch. Men, his raven screamed, men, men. The wildlings are on the march, following the course of the Milkwater down out of the mountains. Thorn believes their van will be upon us in 10 days hence. Their most seasoned raiders will be with Harma Dogshead in that van. The rest will likely form a rear guard or ride in close company with Mance Raider himself. Elsewhere, their fighters will spread thin along the line of march. They have oxen, mules, horses, but few enough. Most will be afoot and ill-armed and untrained. Such weapons as they carry are more like to be stone and bone than steel. They are burdened with women, children, herds of sheep and goats, and all their worldly goods besides. In short, though they are numerous, they are vulnerable, and they do not know that we are here, or so we must pray. They know, thought Chet, you bloody old puss bag. They know certain as sunrise. Corin Halfland hasn't come back, has he? Nor Jamin Buckwell, or however you say their names. If any of them got caught, you know damned well the wildlings will have wrung a song or two out of them by now. Smallwood step forward.
Oh, that was weird. He didn't put a period in there, right?
I was going to say, typo.
Yeah, weird sentence.
Yeah, Smallwood.
Skipping a period can have dire consequences, I hear.
Yeah, when you have small wood.
Oh my.
Or does small wood come
depends
after
on
the
how
period?
old you are. It can't be a good thing. Okay. All right.
Told you that confidence.
Sorry, dude.
Okay. We'll have rung a song or two of them out of them by now, comma, or period. Smallwood stepped forward. Man's Raider means to break the wall and bring red war to the 7 kingdoms. Well, that's a game 2 can play. On the morrow, we'll bring the war to him.
Yay!
We write it dawn with our own strength. Yay! To ruin, right to ruin. And the last. Okay. A red dawn.
And the red dawn rises.
We will not go quietly into the night.
Yeah.
And survive.
This
Yeah.
seems really strange, though. I mean, because they're saying that Mance Raider is going to break through the wall with what, 30,000 people? A third of them, at least, are women and children.
Well, they
Yeah.
all push at the same time.
Yeah, the wall's pretty big though.
Women can do like things now. It's it's current
Yeah.
year, so
Yeah, let's not
Yeah,
be
sexist.
sexist.
Leave
Jeez.
Yeah.
your internalized misogyny
they're people
out of
now.
there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can climb.
Yes,
Or
you,
breed.
men can go grocery shopping, do laundry.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Pump the brakes.
Well, we can climb if we roll a 20. Let's see. Nice. We ride at dawn with all our strength, the old bear said as a murmur went through the assembly. Oh, we were much better. We gave cheers and everything. We will ride north and loop around to the west. Harma's van will be well past the fist by the time we return. The foothills of the Frost Fangs are full of narrow, winding valleys made for ambush. Their line of march will stretch for many miles. We shall fall on them in several places at once and make them swear we were 3,000, not 300. We'll hit hard and be away before their horsemen can form up to face us. Torn Smallwood said, if they pursue, we'll lead them a merry chase, then wheel and hit again farther down the column. We'll burn their wagons, scatter their herds, and slay as many as we can. Mance Raider himself if we find him. If they break and return to their hovels, we've won. If not, we'll harry them all the way to the wall and see to it that they leave a trail of corpses to mark their progress. There are thousands, someone called from behind Chet. We'll die. My gosh, jerks. That was
Yeah.
Maislin's voice, green with fear. Die, screamed Mormon's raven, flapping its black wings. Die, die, die. Minivests, the old bear said, mayhaps even all of us. But as another Lord Commander said 1,000 years ago, that is why they dress us in black. Remember your words, brothers. For any man who fights with me today shall be my brother. For we are swords in the darkness, the watchers on the wall, the fire that burns against the cold, said Sir Malador Locke, drew his long sword. It was just St. Crispin's Day, so yeah. The light
I caught it.
Oh, good. Okay, because I'm thinking, does people not love St. Crispin's Day? The light that brings the dawn, others answered, and more swords were pulled from scabbards. Then all of them were drawing, and it was near 300 upraised swords and as many voices crying, the horn that wakes the sleepers, the shield that guards the realms of men. Chet had no choice but to join his voice to the others. The air was misty with their breath, and firelight glinted off the steel. He was pleased to see Lark and Softfoot and Sweet Donald Hill joining in, as if they were as big fools as the rest. That was good. No sense to draw attention when their hour was so close. When the shouting died away, once more he heard the sound of the wind picking at the ring wall. The flames swirled and shivered as if they too were cold. And in the sudden quiet, the old bear's raven cawed loudly and once again said, die. Clever bird, thought Chet, as the officers dismissed them, warning everyone to get a good meal and a long rest tonight. Chet crawled, oh my gosh, chain theory. Chet crawled under his furs near the dogs, his head full of things that could go wrong. What if that bloody oath gave one of his a change of heart? Or Small Paul forgot and tried to kill Mormont during his second watch in place of the third? Or Maislin lost his courage? Or something turned informer? I can't. I gotta quit looking at Jade. She's killing me.
She's right, though. Build that wall. Even if you build a big wall, they still come.
Damn. Yeah, if we were, wow. Okay.
I know Jane's writing a book, but maybe she should illustrate a comic instead.
There you
All
go.
the emojis.
I got one about a little guy named Sporky. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Shut up,
okay.
dude. It's gonna be good.
You know what? I've got that beat because there's a children's book called Steeg of the Dump.
Stig of the Dump?
I'm looking
Yeah,
it
it's
up
like
now.
an English book or some retarded caveman thing living in a dump.
Steeg of the Dump. Now I have to look that up now.
Wow.
Yeah, I think everybody is. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
Stig of the
I'd
Dump is
never
a
heard of
children's
it.
novel, 1963.
I think it was Bloody Christie that
That bastard.
made it known on a stream that I was on.
Man, there's a lot of different covers to this, so it must have been many
Been
versions.
popular.
Yeah, novel study. A
Oh,
novel
and it's-
study, Stig of the Dump.
Oh,
It's
there
been
was a
twice a
mini
day.
series in 2002.
Wow.
And I'm sure the better one was done in 81 because it was the 80s and that was the
Yeah.
best decade
Yeah,
ever.
80s rule. The
Yeah.
more you know.
Oh, it's got actually it stars what's his name in it?
Stig of the Dump.
Yeah, fucking Jojen in it.
No shit.
Really?
Oh man, well we might have to watch that sometime and do it. All right, back to the book
Well, that would
though.
be cool. Oh, sorry.
Stig of the Dump. No, don't be sorry.
He found himself listening to the night. The wind did sound like a wailing child, and from time to time he could hear men's voices, a horse's whinny, a log spitting in the fire, but nothing else. So quiet. He could see Bessa's face floating before him. It wasn't a knife I wanted to put in you, he wanted to tell
Yeah.
her.
It was a sword.
It
was a
was
chop. It was the glove, wasn't it?
Yeah. That, the fist of the first man.
Oh. I
Been a while
picked
since I fisted a first man. Oops, mic's still on.
I picked you flowers, wild roses and tansy and golden cups. It took me all morning. He was probably the only one that gave her flowers. His heart was thumping like a drum, so loud he feared he might wake the camp. Ice caked his beard all around his mouth. Where did that come from with Bessa? Wherever he'd thought of her before, it had only been to remember the way she had looked, dying. What was wrong with what?
Huh?
I
Did we lose
didn't
her?
know that. I don't know. I didn't.
Oh, she muted herself. You muted.
Oh.
Yeah,
No,
go ahead,
it-
Tina.
I'd say I didn't know that Golden Cup was St. John's Wort.
Oh.
Thank you. I didn't know that either.
I mean, I knew
Yeah.
that. Who said I didn't?
And tansies are actually kind of ugly when it comes to flowers.
Isn't
They're part of the
Tansy
Aster family.
Tywin's first wife? No, it was something like that though.
Oh, I don't
Sorry.
remember. But yeah,
All right.
sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
mad
sorry
mapping
about that.
all,
I didn't realize.
Teresa was
Yeah, well, no, it's okay because
You
She
keep
did it again?
muting. No, I think her
not me
audio
that's
is
doing it.
it's your audio.
It's my evil
cat.
remaining life cat. Yeah, my cat,
Oh,
he's a psychopath.
you
And
should try
She
kicking
keeps
it.
it up. She'll be called dinner.
Yeah, do what Chet did for immersion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go kick a dog. That'll teach the cat.
Or
No,
bring the
wasn't-
cat flowers, then knife it.
Oh, there you go.
No, I just give him Valium.
Nice. That's what I do to my kid.
Give him fentanyl.
No,
Here's a small dose.
he always
Yeah.
hates all my cats.
Doesn't take much. Goes a long way.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Well, that's what
Wear
happened to my
gloves.
poor little Maple Leaf who went to the Great Beyond, but that was legal.
Nice. Good
Legal
stuff.
fentanyl.
Kidney failure. No, whatever they do. Never mind. My cat was put down, but this is getting depressing.
Yeah,
I
let's
got a
not kill
living
the
cat
cat.
on Valium, and he knocked out my microphone. So, speaking of things floating between your face,
What?
I tell you about
no,
a date once, and you bring it up all the time.
Got any extra? Got any extra value? I'd be.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I'd
kitty
be
cat
happy with
volume
that.
though, so the prescription level wouldn't even be any good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I had
it's
That's all right. Tina can purr.
my bird is on haloperidol, so every once in a while, when I can't sleep at night, I'm going, how much does this bird really need this medicine?
Yeah. Eat the bird.
yeah. So in any
Yeah,
case,
you know that's a good idea. Give the bird a really high dose,
And then eat
and
it,
then you
right?
eat the bird,
Thank you.
so it gets kind of filtered through the corpse
You
of the
kn-
bird.
Yeah,
You
like
knew
what
where I was going with that.
like what
Well, I
Nietzsche
mean,
said. You know, when a lion eats a lamb, it consumes the lamb. It becomes part of its DNA.
The mouse eats
Would-
the spider.
the
Something
circle
like
of
that.
not
life.
just
what-
not just that, Tina. That will also fix another scenario because, as you said, your bird wants to be inside you. So that's one way of helping
That's
out.
that
You know
that is
what?
very, very true. And my animals, my kids, when they were little, we had like the Bojan Zoo because we had all kinds of pets. And they would always like try and like put them against each other because they were very much into Dragon Ball Z and that other one where you call the animals and they fight each other. And
Pokemon?
I'm sorry.
Pokemon?
Yes, Pokemon. Thank you. I knew it started with a P. And they would go, okay, what happens? What if the snake and the cockatoo are in a fight? Who would win?
Wait,
Okay, what
are
if
you saying the
dog
bird that's
and
in love with you was the one that won the death match at your place?
yes, yes.
Yeah, I think at
that
this
is-
stage you have to be with the bird. If that's the case, if it
Yeah,
managed
yeah.
to kill everything else off,
Yeah, the only one he hasn't killed yet
is
is
the husband.
Harry Dresden, the wizard lizard, because they've never officially met. They've only been across the room from each other, and we kept the puppy away from the bird. So, because she could definitely kick the puppies, but because they're about the same height.
Wow.
You know what else is interesting? If you become the thing you consume, right? That would explain why so many vegans are vegetables.
Why
Ah,
Pete is such an asshole.
there you go.
What the frig are we talking about?
That was
We're
good.
close to the end of this, though, so that's good.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's climax then.
Before you get going, I actually do have to go.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It was actually fun.
No, I'm so glad. Was it?
It's
Say hi
surprisingly
to
fun.
comics for
The
us.
voice of surprise.
Yeah,
Well,
it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's like sitting here. You know, I thought it would be sitting here listening to somebody promote their new
Sex.
their new Kickstarter or something.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh,
That's no. I
You
mean,
know,
we
like,
had,
yay, this
this is
good.
fun. Yeah, no, I mean,
This
we did-
product actually got released and delivered.
yeah. Yeah. But if you want
All
to
right.
support George, no, just kidding. No, thank you for being here, buddy.
George
And
the Giant Slayer, he's my friend.
yeah, I like George. Saturday night we will be back.
Yeah.
Aluminum
He has a
Sport.
book out as well.
Yes.
Okay. I'm down
So
for it.
please be there.
ooh,
All right, bye,
It's gonna
everybody.
get dirty.
See you, buddy.
Later, bud.
bye.
You know what might be a good topic for aluminum spork is the poor teenager who unalived himself because of the AI relationship he had with Daenerys
Oh, yeah.
Targaryen.
Yeah, we will talk about AI though.
What
And,
the hell?
I was gonna
Yeah.
say
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, it is. It's a 14-year-old boy was in a relationship, quote unquote, with this AI character that was fashioned to be like Daenerys Targaryen. And he was kept talking about how depressed he was. He didn't have friends. He didn't have a girlfriend. And, they became very, I guess, intimate in their conversations. And even though he talked about the unaliving, she would say, no, don't do it. But then I guess it progressed, apparently.
Well, because she
started to
becomes
agree with
evil.
him.
It's Daenerys.
Yes.
Like she's gonna
know.
become evil.
Yeah.
God.
Also,
know.
you don't
So
get
now-
you don't get someone from the Canadian health system to program an AI bot.
no.
It always ends in
That's very
suicide.
true. That's very true. So the family is now suing the company that created.
I would
and,
sue Amelia Clark
platformed
too.
it.
And Dan and
Oh, there
Dave.
you go. Agree.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, Dan and Dave at least.
Oh well, yeah.
They
Well,
ruined it.
They,
right,
well,
let's finish
Rain
this and we'll
Condal
talk about
and
AI.
Hess have replaced Dan and Dave.
Yeah, we'll talk about AI Danny killing people. All right. Um,
Snow was
Minecraft
falling.
yes.
Oh wait, he could feel tears freezing to his cheek. It isn't fair, he wanted to scream. Snow would ruin everything he worked for, all his careful plans. Man, what a big baby.
He's a bitch.
It was a heavy fall, thick white flakes coming down all about him. Now, I do cry when it gets cold because, I hate cold. How would they find their food caches in the snow or the game trail they meant to follow east? They won't need Daiwin or Bannon to hunt us down neither, not if we're tracking through fresh snow, and snow hid the shape of the ground, especially by night. A horse could stumble over a root, break a leg on a stone. We're done, he'd realized. Done before we began. We're lost. There'd be no lord's life for the leechman's son, no keep to call his own, no wives nor crowns, only a wildling sword in his belly, and then an unmarked grave. The snow's taken it all from me. The bloody snow! Snow had ruined him once before. Snow and his pet pig. My goodness, man.
Yeah, he has issues. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jinx. Chet got to his feet. His legs were stiff, and the falling snowflakes turned to the distant torches to vague orange glows. He felt as though he were being attacked by a cloud of pale, cold bugs. They settled on his shoulders, on his head. They flew at his nose and his eyes. Cursing, he brushed.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Cursing, he brushed them off. Samuel Tarley, he remembered. I can still deal with Sir Piggy. He wrapped his scarf around his face, pulled up his hood, and went striding through the camp to where the cowards slept. The snow was falling so heavily that he got lost among the tents. But finally he spotted the snug little windbreak the fat boy had made for himself between a rock and the raven cages. Tarley was buried beneath a mound of black wool blankets and shaggy furs. The snow was drifting in to cover him. He looked like some kind of soft brown mountain. Hey, but he's warm. Steel whispered on faint leather as hope as Chet eased his dagger from its sheath. One of the ravens quirked, "Snow." Another muttered, peering through the bars with black eyes. The first added a snow of its own. He edged past them, placing each foot carefully. He would clap his left hand down over the fat boy's mouth to muffle his cries, and then, oh!
Oh, wow. That was your horn? It's
that's supposed to be a horn. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just
I
trying
thought that was
to read
climax
the
noise.
Well, no, yeah.
Well,
That's his death attack sound.
I was reading the vowels.
It's probably from the Lord Commander's tent. It's the glove being used.
Yeah, his young lads.
Okay.
And I thought it said "you ho." See, you ho. Yeah,
it's at a Kamala rally. Okay.
Oh,
there we go.
He stopped mid-step, swallowing his curse as the sound of the horn shuddered through the camp, faint and far yet unmistakable. Now the gods be damned, not now. The old bear had hidden Far Eyes in a ring of trees around the fist to give warning of any approach. Hidden Far Eyes in a ring. Okay, got it. Jarman Buckwell's back from the giant stair, Chet figured, or Corin Houthland from the skirling pass. A single blast of the horn meant brothers returning. If it was a half-hand, Jon Snow might be with him alive. Sam Tarley sat up, puffy-eyed, and stared at the snow in confusion. The ravens were cawing noisily, and Chet could hear his dogs baying. Half the bloody camp's awake. His gloved fingers clenched around the dagger's hilt as he waited for the sound to die away. But no sooner had it gone than it came again, louder and longer. Oh,
okay.
God.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
gods, he heard Sam Tarley whimper. The fat boy lurched to his knees, his feet tangled in his cloaks and blankets. He kicked them away and reached for a chainmail. I don't know what that word is. Hauberk. He'd hung on the rock nearby as he slipped the huge tent of a garment down over his head and wiggled into it. He spied Chet standing there. Was it 2? He asked. I dreamed I heard 2 blasts. No dream, said Chet. 2 blasts to call the watch to arms. 2 blasts for foes approaching. There's an axe out there with Piggy writ on it, fat boy. 2 blasts means wildlings. The fear on the big moon face made him want to laugh. Booker the Malta, 7 hells, bloody Harma, bloody Mance Raider, bloody Smallwood. He said they wouldn't be on us for another. That sounded more like a dog. I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry, Chet walked past and kicked another dog.
Yeah.
Sorry, I tried. The sound went on and on and on until it seemed like it would never die. The ravens were flapping and screaming, flying about their cages and banging off the bars. All about the camp, the brothers of the Night's Watch were rising, donning their armor, buckling on sword belts, reaching for battle axes and bows. Samuel Tarley stood shaking, his face the same color as the snow that swirled down all around them. 3, he squeaked to Chet. That was 3. I heard 3. They never blow 3. Not for hundreds and thousands of years. 3 means others.
Okay. I was like, maybe it was slow. Sorry.
Chet made a sound that was half a laugh and half a sob. And suddenly his small clothes were wet and he could feel the piss running down his leg. See steam rising off the front of his breeches. Dun, dun,
So
dun.
born salt and smoke.
He is. Oh my God, he's Azor Ahai. Chet is Azor Ahai. Oh, what did I do there? Bonk.
I was gonna say, is that what happened? Well, I've never peed in the snow.
That was promised.
The piss that was promised.
The piss that was promised. We have the best damn audio effects in all of YouTube.
Yeah, right.
That's like, it's such a, like, some people might have felt like it dragged, but it's such a good chapter because you see the anger in Chet. Like, you don't really know Chet before this, and this is like his own POV, and he becomes a major character, but the idea that, well, yeah, right, the idea that he is, this hardened criminal who then thinks of this girl in a loving way and has tears coming down his face, but then he's hard and kicking dogs and planning to kill the majority of people that can affect him. But the minute he realizes,
he's just a little stabby. That's all. He's just a little bit stabby.
But the way he realizes it's the others that haven't been seen in thousands of years, he turns into like a child, pisses himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that must be the most terrifying noise, because no matter if it was 200 years ago or 10 years ago or even 2,000 years ago, the idea of a third blast must be the last thing on your mind as a brother of the Night's Watch. It hasn't happened for 10,000 years. And all of a sudden you hear 3 blasts. Like, almost, I would think a majority of them would be like, that can't be. That can't be. Someone made a mistake, I just find it, I love that ending. Not about the piss, but just the 3 blasts.
Well, it's just so
Kind of reminds me of when I was a. Go ahead, Teresa.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's just poetic justice too, because he was making fun of Sam Tarley. It's like, you're gonna piss.
Yeah, exactly. And Sam's the one throwing on his chainmail, ready to go. It's definitely a cool. It's not as good as some of the other prologues The epilogue's a lot shorter at the end of this book, but like the next book with Merritt Frey is, I mean, one of the better ones. So next week we'll finish the epilogue to sort of a Storm of Swords, and I don't know, we might be able to do 2 because it's so short. I don't know, we'll see. But it does give you, so why, when I first read this, I'm like, who gives a shit about Chet? You know, like, oh, okay, let's kill people, but now they're going to get attacked anyways, blah, blah, blah. And then he becomes this major turning point in the lives of Sam Tarly. You know, Jon Snow changes Jon Snow's future quickly. You know, like everything changes with one action of Chet and his mutineers. It's an interesting prologue, if you think of it that way. I had to make it sound kind of smart.
Yeah.
Agree.
Well,
Poor Chet, little unlucky.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Teresa?
oh, I was just kind of agreeing with you in this, the fact that it's all of these prologues seem to be like little ghost stories or like Halloween stories. Like, it was a dark and stormy night, and there was a man
Right.
named Chet.
Right,
And
right.
there were 3 blasts. 3.
Yeah.
And
I
everyone's
mean,
like, ooh.
but if you
And
think
then
about it, even
in
the
the
first
distance,
one
you hear
is
a
like
sound,
that.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
But even the first one's like that. Like you meet the others in the first prologue, you know, and it's kind of like that just guys ranging. You're thinking you're learning about something, and then all of a sudden these crystallized ice figures come out of nowhere. I love it. I love how he tells his story.
All of the prologues and epilogues feature the supernatural.
Yeah.
I guess except for the one with Kevin in book 5, where, but then
Kevin's
Varys.
last night.
Yeah, but Varys is something we don't know yet. You know what I mean? So it's,
Well, I guess that just proves that Varys is supernatural. Then, if everything else
Yeah.
is going the same way, if he wouldn't do it that way.
that's a good point, man.
You heard it here first.
Yeah,
You
'cause
heard it here first.
We have the White Walkers. We
Yeah.
have the Skin Changer. We have
The Red Witch.
Faceless Man.
Yep, the Faceless Man. The Red Witch with the comet. You know, you have Melisandre. Stoneheart too with Merritt Frey. I mean, the only one is Kevin. So why is that? It has to have something magical in it, right?
Kevin's Azor Ahai.
Well, it's weird to think the
He
majority
pulls the bolt out of his chest, and it actually turns into flames.
but the majority of magic in this book are in the prologue and epilogues. A lot is sprinkled after. Book 1 has nothing but the prologue and the last chapter with magic. Clash of Kings, you start seeing a little bit more because the dragons are alive, but other than that, it's the prologue.
Yeah, but dragons being alive doesn't mean that they're that's
right.
magic.
They're magical creatures, but it doesn't mean magic is being like actually done.
Yeah,
like Melisandre might be magic because she's glamored and she's drinking poison and she knows she's drinking poison and she's fine. Or it could be like something she just knows and she takes something antidote quick. I don't know. I always wondered about that one because after we hear her story,
she did explain to Jon Snow that most of the stuff she did was tricks and alchemy.
Right.
Yeah, she had those little holes in her pockets.
Not until once she got to the wall, though, it was
she felt more powerful, and due to her, the single chapters she had, we know that she actually does see stuff in the flames.
Right. And she talks about like the little things in the pockets and all the powders, but it's become real. It's become real because is it the White Walkers coming back or the dragons? I think it's the dragons personally, because the White Walkers have been back. We just haven't seen them, and people haven't seen them yet, but they've been back. That's why the wildlings are moving. That's why things are happening. So magic really comes back because you have the duality of ice and fire.
Well, she did feel more powerful at the wall,
Right.
I think that's because the Lord of Light, or whoever is posing as the Lord of Light
Right. The
and
great
serving
elder.
as her battery in a way, is closer
Mhm.
to her. So she has a
Yep.
stronger reception at the wall. She's
Doesn't
simply
she say?
closer to the swords.
Doesn't she say something? It's like one of the not naval, but one of the power points of the planet is the wall. It's like almost like a ley line.
Like a ley line.
Yeah.
I don't remember if she said that, but that might have been on the show.
Yeah, that's why
must
I'm
be all the weirwood trees that are in the wall.
the runes, the weirwoods,
No,
giants,
I reckon
whatever.
there's real ones in there, and that's when they blow the horn, they shake, and that's what brings the wall down.
Mm.
Interesting.
Huh. I mean, yeah, it could
A
be.
lot of blood sacrifice and everything there. So
I don't doubt blood sacrifice to build the
No,
wall.
there's definitely a
Runes.
weirwood in the walls.
Well-
in the wall, because Bran walks under one
Yeah.
when he's walking under the wall.
Right. It's not just the door. There's actual roots, right?
Yeah, there's roots coming down out of the ice above him, and that's when something drips on it, and he
yeah, it's all salty and warm.
yeah,
That's a good theory.
almost like
that-
he gets baptized when he walks through.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Shakes the trees, breaks the wall. That is interesting. I never would have thought of that. That was all right. Well, that was fun.
That
We're
actually
gonna
fits
call it
with Ragnarok too. Because
why the rogue tree.
the roots of the world tree is supposed to shake and cause earthquakes.
And that would bring down the wall.
Mhm.
Giants raise giants to right, because that's what the
That's part of the Loki series. That Idrisil illustration was freaking gorgeous.
it was. I hated season 1, but season 2 wasn't as bad. I mean, as I expected it to be. I actually enjoyed parts of it. And I could admit that Agatha all along is not as bad. Like, it's way better than WandaVision.
Absolutely agree.
Oh,
I think the
100
people that are
times.
I think the people that are pissing about it are just looking for something to bitch about.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
I think
'cause
it
there's a
depends
big
on the
difference.
landing. It depends on the landing.
That's
They-
true.
they-
Which we find out today. It just got released about 21 minutes ago.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think it was too bad. I actually I liked the idea of how her child can live on through the death of another child.
Exactly. And I mean, and the people that are complaining about the story, what do they have to compare it to? They don't have a lot of Agatha's backstory in the comics, so they can't say that they're interpreting it wrong because it
I
didn't
just think
exist.
it's separate
Well, yeah,
altogether.
they've completely
Exactly.
changed the character because her character in the
Yeah, it was an
comics is an
old-
86-year-old.
Yeah. No, she's hundreds of years old in the show.
Exactly. That just meant in the comic she presented herself older,
Yeah.
but not
Isn't
behind.
she
It's
like
a character. It's a
It's
character in name only. There is no
Yes.
actual resemblance to that.
I agree with that. She is character in name only, taking parts of her story, maybe when it comes to if Mephisto shows up or anything. But I just see now with like that stuff, I just take it completely. Like I've lost all the heart that I had with Marvel. Same with Star Wars. That if I take the story as something different. The acting is good. The story is cohesive. It's not being derogatory towards men because there are no men. It has its moments where I'm like, oh God, let's, wave the flag a little too hard. But like, it's not something where I'd be like, it's not so disrespectful as some of the other things like Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel and
brings
everything
down
that came out
Marvel.
kind of after that. Like,
see, I liked She-Hulk.
Oh,
If
that was
it was if it was a new character they created and not based on a comic, I did not mind the show.
oh no, the show is so disrespectful towards men. It was a
Absolutely.
blatant F you to what they consider toxic men that wear their hats
I don't
backwards.
even
Right,
care about
and-
that. It was a poor story.
It was they're
such a
twerking and shit.
They also turned Titania into Down syndrome Elvira.
Mhm.
There's that too.
And literally, like, I know, like, okay, She-Hulk breaks the fourth wall, but her like coming out of the Disney Plus thing and Kevin the robot changing the story, just it was
You
very
gotta understand,
very anti-man.
That's canon though now. That means
Yes.
anytime anything happens, she can just
Yeah.
literally jump out of the Netflix thing, even though it said, "Oh, well, you can only do it once." I'm like, yeah, but like, when does that ever stop them ever doing anything? You brought in a world-changing and world-ending reality thing. Like, we thought this was
She's
going to
more
be
than a
a small
nexus
show,
being.
but everything has
Exactly.
to have these giant world-ending freaking implications. And like,
Right.
that's
Right.
reality. Like, that's the entire universe that she can just pop in and out of.
Because that means that she's more powerful than Loki, more powerful than
what?
Yeah,
Deadpool.
she's more powerful than Loki, a guy that's literally holding the universe together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All the
It's like I've
multiverse.
always said, ripple effects.
Mhm.
Yep. And that's why Agatha isn't bothering me as much, because the story is very based on this witch's story. Now, granted, it may affect, they built this character who was Wanda's son, which is the way they got the character from WandaVision into this other body. So that could have effects going forward. But like the story is really, based in this one small area that really only way it affects anything else is maybe she gets her power back and she can
And
now
it-
be a foil for somebody. But
And it could also impact the Fantastic Four because Agatha was Franklin's nanny.
Franklin's nanny. Yeah.
So, and so if they keep her character through the story there, that'll be kind of interesting how they're going to make that play out.
She's a link between a lot of them. She's also the same thing, like, because Wanda and that, Magneto's kids.
Mhm.
So there's
Mhm.
the X-Men tie-in as well.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Now, the only thing that I'm a little worried about is the character Death. Is this supposed to be Lady Death, like cosmic Lady Death, or did they not realize?
Why bring her in now after the Infinity Saga? It makes no sense.
Well,
I
is it
know.
the same character?
That we
Like,
don't know that.
I don't
We
think
just
it
know
is.
that-
Well, there is only one Lady Death. She's a Nexus
Right.
character. She exists
And that's
in
why
all...
her name's not Lady Death. It's
It's Death, and they've already
Death.
established that she is not a Nexus being. There's a Death
right. So
in
she's just
every
Death,
universe.
the original Green Witch or some shit.
Right.
Okay. I mean, it just
just
that
an
was
emo
stupid
witch.
to even go that route. They should have thought
Okay.
of something different.
She
But
should have
other
kept
than
whatever
that,
her
it's
name,
gonna-
Rio or Real
Yeah,
or
Rio,
whatever her
yeah.
name is.
Other than that, it's not a bad story for a minor character,
Mhm.
which I think the show should be about. Minor characters not affecting the main storyline, kind of like how I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did it a lot better, even though they tried to say it's not canon, but it was canon because it literally had characters from the from the MCU in the show sometimes. You know what I mean? And it talked about things after movies happened, and
Mhm.
but they did a good job at it. Like, I always wanted Quake to be in the MCU.
Mhm.
Quake
know,
would
she
have
did-
Plus
worked.
that, main Shield agent showed up alive again after Avengers due to the events of Agents of Shield.
Right.
Your Lady
Right.
Sif was there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will. Lucas Mesmo, thank you for becoming a subscriber. I appreciate that. But yeah, let's close it up, guys. I got to get to sleep. But that interesting conversation. I should talk about this stuff.
Before we go,
Yeah.
I have done a video for you.
Oh, okay.
It's
All
in
right.
it's at the top of your video list.
All right. Let's check it out. Oh God. Here we go. Sporking videos.
Okay, stop right there before you move on. Welcome to Sporky News Podcast. My name is Scott, and I'm asking you to give me a chance at your subscription. I mean, it is free, so if you hit the button, I'd really appreciate it. What do we talk about here? We talk about anything nerdish, plus anything I think in the world is crazy. You might not agree with my views. That's okay, because here you're allowed to disagree and still be friends, unlike the world around us. Isn't that crazy? We don't have to hate each other because we don't have the same beliefs. What we do have to do is understand that each person is different, and if we give each other an ear and listen instead of thinking about what we're going to say next, we actually might learn something that can change our lives forever. And I'm not saying it will be a comic movie we're covering or a Song of Ice and Fire book that I'm, spewing out about, but you might learn something about yourself. And isn't that the most important thing? So please, I don't know, subscribe. Thank you.
That's awesome, dude.
That is so cool.
Did you send me that? As
Love
a
that it
file?
has your cadence, the way you
Yeah,
speak.
well,
It's
that
great.
is me. I that's
Yeah.
my intro video. That's like on my page as an intro video. He just took it
Oh,
and turned it into
gotcha.
something. So
Well,
that's
not just that, it's also matched all your head movements and the
yeah,
way in
dude,
which
that's
you tilt
so
your head.
funny. I love it, man. Can you send me that in a file?
No worries.
Because I'll put it as my intro thing and take out my other one. That was great. But thank you, everybody. Miss Martin Muse or anybody else. What do you got going on? You want to plug it?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to be Catholic explaining the Antichrist.
Yeah.
It's
Ooh.
going to be fun. It's going to be cheery. So, if you've ever wanted to know what the Catholic, at least what the Catholic Church looks at about the Antichrist, or maybe even what's just what we know about the Antichrist, please go ahead and tune in tomorrow. I was rewatching The Omen, so that gave me this idea. So that's coming up, and also some more letters of J.R.R. Tolkien and stuff about the Numenorians and Sauron, and more musings. Let's all just get together and support each other, and maybe not go crazy together.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Anybody
I
else?
promise I won't troll the chat saying that Obama was the Antichrist or that Trump is the Anti.
Oh,
Well, see, that's the whole thing. This whole idea that it's one individual that's something we're going to talk about. Because is that really supported by scripture?
no, it is not.
It is
Cool.
No,
Very cool.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Make sure you check out Tina on Vinny Arts on Friday night and check out Sir Grant McGregory's channel, which is huge, and Stig on where are you going to be talking what movie, what year? Is that this week?
Oh, that's in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Well, we will plug that when we get there. I hope everybody has a good night. Have a great Halloween. Stay safe. And,
And eat less of candy.
there you go. My summer
more
child. More candy. Bye.